Hi, in this video we are going to talk about conditional statements in C++. There are two things to remember about the conditional statements in C++. First of all, there are only two types of conditional statements. One is if-else statement and second one is switch statement. And secondly, you need to know relational operators. If you do not know right now what are they, then you can go and watch the last video, which will be linked here somewhere. So the question is, why do we even need conditional statements and what do they do? Conditional statements help us to make the decision in programming. So let's just say that you made a program that takes the input of name, age and ID number, and then it needs to log in the user into the system. Now this is where the conditional statement will be used, because we need to make a decision. We need to decide whether or not the name, age and ID taken from the user is right or wrong. This right or wrong will be decided by the conditional statements. We must use conditional statements in order to decide, in order to make decisions in the programming. And then we've got the difference between if-else statement and switch. They are exactly the same. There is a very slight minor difference between them. If-else statement allows you to work with multiple variables. Meanwhile, switch statement can only hold one value at a time. It can only decide for a one value at a time. So let's just understand that by programming example. So first of all, we are going to make int variable, int, and this variable is going to be salary. And we can assign it to maybe 1000. Then we are going to write our if-else statement syntax. So the basic syntax of if-else statement is, now this is the basic syntax of if statement, and we are going to give it a condition. So now we are going to train the program to make a decision for us. So we are not going to tell it, it's the program that's going to decide. Let's just give it an argument, which is going to be our variable salary less than or equal to 1000. The program should see out bad salary. So now we have just trained our program to make decision for us. The moment it's going to see the salary is less than or equal to 1000, it's going to output this message. If you don't know what this is what I meant by relational operator. So this is one of many relational operator, and if you do want to understand, you can go to the last video. Then we are going to extend this program by saying else if salary is greater than 1000 and salary is less than or equal to 5000, then it's going to output this message. And then finally we are going to use our else statement to output our default message. And finally we are going to use else statement to output a message that does not include these conditions. So let's just revisit what we have done so far to understand the program. Here we are letting the program know that as long as salary is less than or equal to 1000, it should show this message, which will be bad salary. It should execute this statement. Then we say if this is not true, so if maybe our salary is 2000, let's say, then it goes to next one to check whether this is right or not. There are two different statements in this. First of all, it checks for this statement and then this one. So this statement is going to be executed as long as the salary is more than 1000 and less than or equal to 5000. So as long as the salary is in between of 1001 till 5000. And this is our AND operator. So we have two different operators for this that we can use. We have AND operator that we put to these signs, and then we have OR operator. So right now it means that the salary, these both statements need to be true. So these both things that need to be true. which basically means that it needs to be in between of 1001 till 5000. But if we were to say or operator, which is this, it means that one of it needs to be true. So either if this is true or this can be true. They both don't need to be true. But what we want both of them to be true right now. And then ultimately, if these both statements are not true, it goes on to execute this statement. One thing to remember about the if-else statement is that only one block of code will be executed. Right now, we have 3 blocks of code. 1, 2, and 3. Only one of them will be executed, so that our decision making of our program is concise and clear. Let's just run the program to see what do we get. As you can see, now it works. So let's just test it for the second block of our else if statement. We're going to change this to 2000. And as you can see that this statement has been executed when the salary was 2000, so more greater than the 2000 and less than the 5000. Now we are going to move on to switch statement. The functionality of switch statement is exactly the same as if else statement. However, it only allows one variable. So let me write down this switch statement syntax. We are going to understand switch statement by making a program. So first of all, we are going to declare our variable in, and then we are going to give it switch statement. So here we are going to have our operation, basically a variable that we are going to work around, and then there are 2 curly brackets, case. So this statement is going to work as a else statement that we had at the end. So here it's being saying that our month variable is uninitialized, so maybe just initialize it to second month. Let's just extend our program a bit more. So let's just go through the code to understand what have we done so far. So first of all, we have int variable. Int variable is given in here in the switch statement, and this is going to be only one value. And then we say if in the case of 1, so if the value is 1, then this statement will be executed. If the value is true, then this statement is executed. You see here we've also put break. So if this statement is true, then this is going to break. It doesn't have to go through the whole bit. This just saves us time and space. Can do this. Let's just run our program to see. So as you can see, we are getting the Feb. If we were to put maybe 1, then we will get Jan. Now maybe let's try executing this default statement. And as you can see, the default statement was executed. Just to recap, if else statement and switch statement both allow us to make decision in the programming languages. If else statement can work with multiple variables, whereas switch statement can only work with one variable. This is something that we need to remember. And you can extend this program as much as you want to in the cases, in terms of cases, but we've just done 3 cases. I hope that you understood these conditional statements, and if you'd like to give us feedback, that'd be really helpful. Thank you.